This is Nathan Stanford. This is going to be JavaScript fundamentals for web developers. We're going to look into JavaScript and teach you as much as we can. We might have more than one video, probably several. So let's start looking into JavaScript. JavaScript's a high-level interpretive programming language that's been a cornerstone of web development for over 25 years. It was created by Brandon Each in 1995. Has since become one of the world's most popular languages. So JavaScript allows you to add interactivity, dynamic behavior to websites. You're able to use that with CSS and HTML to really bring your websites to life. So the history of JavaScript is it came initially for client-side programming. It didn't do the back end, but now it does. It's capable of doing the front end and the back end, and it is popular use for front end frameworks like React, Vue, and Angular. Back end with Node.js, mobile app development with frameworks like React Native, desktop applications with Electron, game development, AI, and even Internet of Things applications. So it's got a lot of versatility of things you can do. So learning JavaScript will definitely help you find a job. There's plenty of different ways that you can go about using it for different situations. I know you could use it for an editor for JavaScript. You could even use Notepad. You could use Visual Studio Code, which is my favorite and the one I'll be using. You could use Sublime Text, Atom, or a whole bunch of other editors. So if you want to use a different editor, you can. So what we're going to do is, obviously, you have to have a web browser so that you can see what you're creating and see how it's working. So we're going to start creating a simple JavaScript application so you can start to see the beginning of how to use JavaScript. This is for beginners, but if you want to follow along, in case I come along some stuff that you maybe didn't know, go ahead and watch and let me know if there's things that I miss and things that you think should be told to the beginners. This is going to be mainly for beginners at the beginning of this stage, but if you're wanting to learn JavaScript and thoroughly go through it, this is probably not a bad idea. Okay, let me pull up my browser. I'm going to go with my editor first. Okay, to start with, we're going to open up Visual Studio Code. You don't have to use it. You open up your editor, and we're going to start in here, and we're going to the folder location, just so you can see. I put it right here in a web root. Didn't have to because it's going to be JavaScript, but I went ahead and did it anyway. So we're going to create, for web applications, the default file is usually either index.html, or for Cold Fusion it's index.cfm. For PHP it's index.php, so forth and so on. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an index.html, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say doc. Now, depending on which emmet you have, there's different things you can do, but this is the boilerplate for my HTML. So I just hit tab after typing doc, and it puts all of this in. This is going to be JavaScript fundamentals. Fundamentals. So we've got our title. And then what we want to do, let's just go ahead and title this. Put a H1. H1, if you're not new to HTML, you might want to check my HTML video and watch that before coming here, because you should at least know HTML for this particular thing we're doing. Now, used to, when you would include a JavaScript file, you would put a script down here at the bottom. Hold on. you would put a script source equals script.js. You would put it down here at the bottom, because the way the page works is it would load the whole page, and you would want any script you're running to run after it finished loading the page. One of the things you can do now is you can move this up here with other things that you're including. All you have to do is add the attribute defer, and it will defer to load until the very end of the page after everything's loaded. So what we're going to do is nothing really mind-blowing. We're going to include this JavaScript. So we're going to create that script.js. And when you're using JavaScript, one of the things you can do is you can go here to the console, I think it is, or is it output? Well, we'll find out in just a minute. You can say we want, in this script file, we want to do console.log, and we'll do the classic hello world. And then what we want to do is we want to be able to run this page so we can see it. Let's make this a little smaller. And there's an extension called Live Server that you can use. So I'm going to hit Control-Shift-P, and Live Preview Start Server. So I'm going to click on that, and it shows our page here to the right. So what we're going to do is we load the file in a browser. We hit F12, which will open the console, and you can see we have a message here, hello world. So the message we sent from our JavaScript, which we can change, and let's just say, welcome to class. Save. We'll go back to our browser. We'll hit refresh, and now it says welcome to class. So you've actually been able to write some JavaScript that actually does something. Now it only logs this to the console. Once you've been coding a while, you realize that's only good for certain reasons. A lot of times it's good for debugging things and finding things, testing things, and stuff like that. So if we go through here, we can see all these different things down here that will help us at different times. But right now, what we want to do is leave this over here, and we will work on the next part of this.